Civic groups want restrictions on the evacuations of Taiwanese out of China, citing limited medical resources.
A group of petitioners stood outside the Taiwan Centers for Disease Control on Tuesday. They urged Taiwan not to accept more evacuees than it is able to quarantine.
An online petition with their requests racked up more than 200,000 signatures in 3 days.
They've gathered outside the Taiwan CDC with paper planes, calling on the government to hold the line on its epidemic prevention policies. They said Taiwan should reject privileged persons who buy their way onto evacuation flights.
We urge the government to face up to the fact of a malignant neighbor that deliberately conceals epidemic information and ignores our prevention work. The government should carefully assess the capacity of our healthcare system and not let political factors override medical expertise. Reject charter flights for the privileged few.
Mr. Liu, a Hsinchu engineer, is one backer of a petition launched by Dr. Hsin-tai. The petition asks that Taiwan's government be the one coordinating repatriation flights from China and that these flights give priority to Taiwanese in need. It asks for evacuees to be accompanied by Taiwanese medical workers, to follow epidemic prevention measures on board, and to comply with quarantine and screening regulations upon returning to Taiwan. It also calls for evacuation flights to be spaced out in light of limited quarantine capacity. The petition racked up 200,000 signatures in just 3 days.
We are against carriers of infection entering our country unless the government already has in place the supporting measures. Things such as manpower, hardware, and isolation environments must be prepared beforehand. There are 3 principles. First, we prioritize epidemic prevention. Second, we prioritize vulnerable persons. The third principle is that we don't exceed our capacity. We will continue communicating with China.
The coronavirus outbreak continues to expand. Last week, Taiwan's first repatriation flight out of Hubei raised an outcry due to its passenger list. The petition aims to mobilize public support for Taiwan's government to lead evacuation efforts.